Hey guys, my name is Cody Barna. I'm a local real estate agent here in New Hampshire with eXp Realty. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the pros and cons of living in New Hampshire. Stay tuned till the end of the video if you want to find out what things I like and dislike about living in this beautiful state. In today's video, I'm going to cover the top 5 pros and cons of living in New Hampshire. Starting off with the pros, we have number 1, outdoor activities. Living in New Hampshire provides you with so many options. The outdoor activities are endless, from ski mountains to the ocean to hikes, and they're all so close. You can be to Boston in about an hour from Manchester, New Hampshire, or you can be to Hampton Beach in about 45 minutes. You can also travel to York, Maine in about 45 minutes to an hour. All the way up north, you have Loon Mountain, which is about a 90-minute car ride. The amount of outdoor activities are endless, and it's only just a short car ride away. Going along with number 1, number 2 on the list is the beautiful scenery. It's endless, all the way from the oceans to the mountains. You don't even have to hike to get a beautiful view in New Hampshire. The further north you travel on Route 93 up to the White Mountains, you get beautiful views the entire car ride up. Not to mention, if you plan on doing any of the beautiful hikes up north, you will get spectacular views at any time of the day. If you're not much of a hiker and you'd rather go to the ocean, we have that for you as well. Travel to York, Maine for a beautiful seacoast, or just a short ride to Hampton Beach to enjoy the beautiful boardwalk and fantastic restaurants along the ocean. Number 3, there's no state income tax or sales tax. This can be amazing for people moving from other states that have extremely high taxes. This is also great for people that want to start a business or just coming here for better wages. So if you're looking for a more tax-friendly state, then New Hampshire might be the one for you. Number 4 is the traffic. This is a huge one for people coming from highly populated states like California. The traffic in New Hampshire is almost always light, especially when you're traveling up north on a weekday or even a weekend that's not a holiday. Traveling south towards Boston during work hours can be heavy with traffic, but for the most part, the traffic in New Hampshire is extremely tolerable. And number 5 is the 4 seasons. For those of you that enjoy some diversity through the year, this is the perfect area for you, especially coming from an area that is hot or cold year-round. The springtime can be a little bit rainy, but for the most part, it's typically very comfortable. The summers can be humid, and you have beautiful hikes and the ocean right at your doorstep. In the winters, I know nobody likes a lot of snow, unless you're a person who does a lot of outdoor activities. Being a skier for a long portion of my life, I can understand. If you enjoy the winter and you have a hobby, it makes it go by so much faster. But for those of you that don't like the cold weather, let me reassure you, it's only a few months of cold temperatures. But for the most part, the snow is pretty moderate. And if you have children, there's plenty of mountains around for skiing, tubing, and a bunch of outdoor activities. So don't worry, the winter only lasts for a few months, and it's extremely fun if you get outdoors. That wraps up the 5 pros of living in New Hampshire. Now we're going to get on to the 5 cons. Number 1 being the public transportation. I've been to cities where the public transportation is amazing. There's trains, ferries, buses, there's so many ways to get around. And that's one of the biggest lacking factors of New Hampshire. Sure, we have some buses and other apps like Uber and Lyft. There's no major transportation methods to get you from up north to down south. As you work your way towards Boston, you might find better options, but for the most part, in New Hampshire, there's not too many options. If you're flying out of Boston Logan Airport, we do have a great bus system that can bring you from a few points in New Hampshire all the way down to Boston. Number 2 is the weather. This might be a pro or a con depending on who you ask, but for the most part, when people move to New Hampshire, the winters can become cold, dark, and depressing for most people. But what I recommend is getting out there and enjoying some type of winter activity. Whether it's tubing, sledding, skiing, or hiking, there's plenty of ways to make the winter go by a lot quicker. Not to mention, the views are beautiful in the winter, so whether or not you do a winter sport or winter activity, just getting out and taking some pictures of the beautiful scenery will make you feel a lot better. Number 3 is restaurants. In particular, restaurants that cater to dietary restrictions. This can be kind of tough, especially if you follow certain types of diets, whether it's keto, plant-based, vegan, vegetarian. It seems like a lot of the restaurants in this area are not adapting to the changing times. But there's restaurants opening all the time that are catering to these lifestyle choices. But for the most part, restaurants are happy to cater to your dietary needs. Over time, the more demand we have for these options is only going to drive more businesses to open up. Number 4 is property taxes. New Hampshire has the 3rd highest property tax rate in the country. Since we have no state income tax or sales tax, the state has to generate taxes in some way, and that leads to high property taxes. So if you're planning on buying a house in New Hampshire, make sure you look into the property taxes because you don't want to be surprised after you've already moved in. And number 5 is the insects and bugs. This is the biggest con for me. The mosquitoes and the ticks can be extremely bad at certain times of the year. Especially if you live by a body of water, the ticks at night during the summer can be unbearable. And if you live close to the mountains or any wooded area, you want to make sure you check yourself for ticks. And it's extremely important to check your pets as well. Lyme disease is a huge factor in New Hampshire. Luckily, summer is the worst month for ticks and mosquitoes, and the rest of the year is not too bad. So make sure you bring some bug spray if you're going out on a warm summer night, and check yourself for ticks if you're going on any long hikes. And that wraps the video, guys, for the top 5 pros and cons of living in New Hampshire. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below, and let me know what you want to see in future videos. If you're thinking about moving to New Hampshire, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. I'll leave all of my contact info in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys.